Hi everyone, welcome to Embellishments on the 11th, where each month at noon Eastern Time, a small group of us make embellishments, whatever we want and however many we want, one or more. Anyway, we do that each month, and so I think last month I made birdhouses and some gnomes, like two birdhouses and two colored gnomes. I haven't used them yet. This month I decided to pull out these Glowland brand dies that I bought back in December and received in January and hadn't used yet. Um, they're not bad, except that because because the price is reasonable, but I don't like having to cut them apart myself because they get little sharp edges, and I know you can file them, but that's a lot of time. There's a lot of little nubby things. And also on this one, some of these are very thin, and like this was attached inside this, and I actually bent the outer one trying to get them apart. I might have bent this one a little bit too, but that one's a little sturdier and straightened out. But see how thick this is? The jar is not, and nor is that little tag, and it was very flimsy. And also, trying to get some of these little bits off from outside the thing, like this one, I could see being a problem because it's very thin. And I thought I had one of those things for this too. Ooh. Anyway, I'll have to look for that. In any event, let me show you what I made. I was playing with some retiring colors. I did the light bulbs first. This is just a piece of paper I had laid everything out on, but I decided to put it just on the white. And I think you can probably see it better that way. So I used Stampin' Up's Retiring Colors of Blushing Bride, a little bit of So Saffron peeking through there, and Pear Pizzazz. And then I decided to do one in silver foil. I used some scraps for that, two scraps actually. And then I did one in vellum, but the only thing I kept out of that is there's some vellum inlay here, and there's some, you can't really see them, but there's some vellum leaves in here that I bunched in with some of the Pear Pizzazz. And I might have used some vellum. Yeah, there's a vellum on the back of that flower just to give it a little more sturdiness. Most of these, to keep these pieces in, some of them, I just used a piece of regular tape, you know, clear tape on the back. But like this one, I'm pretty sure I had a vellum. No, it wasn't that one. I don't know which one it was. Anyway, and then these, there is a bar here that cuts out these. And I don't know, the pink one popped out right away, and I ran that through when it was still hooked together, which I don't recommend because you'll get something like that. And most of those I threw out, or I took the part out and used it like that, and the leaves are in another one. Anyway, I don't recommend doing that. That's why I eventually cut this one apart. This one I did not cut apart yet. See, the leaves are in there and the flowers in there. You need to cut them apart. But for some reason when I did the foil, I could not get this piece out because there's no hole in that little bar to poke it through, and the foil for some reason didn't want to come out. But these are meant for the little hanging things. Now, you don't have to use them. You can use twine or whatever, ribbon, thin ribbon. But also, if you do poke some of these out here, like this one, I did, and then I put this has a piece of vellum and then another piece of pink under it. You can use those for shorter hanging. In fact, the sample they had on their website, because this one is still available as of the day before the collab when I'm recording this. But the next one is not. Anyway, I forget what I was going to say. So yeah, this is still available. So that's that one. And then these are mason jar ones, and the set looks like this. I cut it all apart. It was one set. This was two sets. And I only did 2. I also used, let's see, I used this little For You from this Way Retired A Wish for Everything set from Stampin' Up. I used 1 piece, this light blue here, out of this Abstract Beauty 4x6 inch paper from January to June 2022. And this is retiring at the end of this month. And I used the gingham paper for both the background and also this little lid, and also the strawberries. This is this same paper. So I used scraps, and I also used vellum, and I used alcohol markers. Let me get some of this stuff off my lap or I'm going to drop it. So let's see, let's start with this one, I guess. This one I just did in vellum. I used a retired Light Mango Melody. No, this one I think I used Daffodil Delight, and then I colored on the back of the vellum to make it look like lemonade, but I thought, well, I want it to be strawberry lemonade. So after I put the second piece of vellum on with the straw in between, I took Light Flirty Flamingo, I think it was light, and recolored it some more pink on the back, and it gave it more of a, almost looks like orange juice now, actually, quite honestly, but it was supposed to be strawberry lemonade. Anyway, and then this twine, both twines are from this retired Fan Baker's twine. I had bought this out of the clearance rack. It might still be out there. This one I used this, I think it's Poppy Parade or something in white, and this is Night of Navy. This color is actually Sweet Sorbet, and this is Pear Pizzazz. There's only 1 leaf in this set, so I had to cut it 4 times to get that. And this is tacked down with glue dots at the top and behind the straw in several places, and I think 1 in the corner down here. So it actually looks like a jar because the straw is in between the 2 vellums. To get the silver, though, I actually had to die cut the jar, the whole jar, out of silver because there's no extra lid. There's just the cloth to go on the lid. But I think that came out cute. Originally, I wasn't going to even put them on paper, and I decided I would. And then this one, oh, and around the edges, I used either light smoky slate or light gray granite. Maybe one is one and one is the other. I'm not sure. And this one I left clear for the longest time, and then I thought, well, let me cut out the bee and put a spoon for honey. And I ended up coloring it with something. I think this was the Light Mango Melody to make it look like honey. And then it still was kind of light and see-through to the plaid. So I did die cut another one in just white and glued it down on white, and then tacked it all down with wet glue. The spoon I painted in Sharpie permanent marker silver, and that worked out well, the whole spoon front and back. The bumblebee, I colored the back of it with Mango Melody marker, which has been retired for a year now. But on the front, I used glaze pen in yellow and black to color the bee. And I might have done it backwards, but I wanted more yellow to show than black. So that's why I did it that way. And that was fun. I haven't used them much lately, and I used to use them a lot. The little tag, this is not a die cut. The back tag is this one, the one that bent. And I thought it would straighten out when I die cut it, and it did a little bit, but it still bent from trying to twist and cut this out. Turns out that's not big enough to stamp much of anything, and maybe a 2, but then there's no room to write on it. So I pulled out this For You from A Wish for Everything, which is long retired right here. And this was a scrap of white, and I just took it up to the top and cut the same angle off, and then I have a 1/8 inch hole punch that actually, when I first started with Stampin' Up, it was available, but retired after that first year. So yeah. I stamped in Starry Sky, even though this is Night of Navy. I stamped first and then I found that twine. So yeah, thought it went okay. I have a blue and white twine, but it's not Stampin' Up! And the color was a little different. And I think I liked the contrast with the navy better than I did the similar to this. This is Balmy Blue, and the color I had was not, it was like a baby blue, but not a balmy blue. Anyway, those are my two jars. I like them a lot. They will probably go on cards. I just don't know when. Keeping a little tray of stuff I made. Oh, and I meant to tell you on these, I actually went looking for sentiments that had to do with light, like you light up my life or something. And I did find the brightest glow, which I think is carried over. Wishing you a season of hope and light. I could see that being used with silver or gold foil ones with some Christmassy background or something. All is merry and bright. But I think the ones with the hearts, let your heart be light, and have the light bulbs, right? Even these two here have the word love. So let your heart be light would also work. And then if you did these in different colors, maybe just with this design, you know, that one in red and green, or some people use pink for Christmas now, you know. Hoping your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends. You could use that. And may the peace of the season light your world, and may your new year be the brightest. And I could see having one of these with, you know, yellow or something, making it bright. And putting that there, and then instead of having these other inserts, have the word peace on there. May the peace of the season. I think that would be pretty, and you could put this on the inside or something. Or I also found this one, which is retiring the end of this month, if it is still available, I don't know. And just use this You Brighten My Path, and you know, have some, I don't know that I'd add any other sentiment with it. You Brighten My Path, and have a light bulb, but I think these, I like this Let Your Heart Be Light the best. So what do you think? What would you use with this? I was thinking You Light Up My Life, but I couldn't find a sentiment like that. I probably have one, but I just couldn't find it. So anyway, that's enough of me blabbering on. Please go visit the other participants in the collab and see what embellishments they made. Again, it's anywhere from 1 to however many you want to make, and it can be anything. It can be a holiday, it can be anything you want. And also, guys, I apologize. I made 3 pocket letters Thursday and Saturday morning. One I had them actually Wednesday, early Thursday, and Saturday morning, because one I had to get in the mail Thursday morning. It should have been out Wednesday, but it got there in time from my oldest granddaughter, and the other ones went to my daughter and my other granddaughter, which I hand delivered. And then Friday, I actually got to go to a garden I've mentioned before, Longwood Gardens, and the tulips were beautiful. I do have some pictures, but I don't know if I'll share them on YouTube or not. Anyway, I've been a little busy. Have a wonderful April. Hope you had a great Easter, and I will talk to you again very soon, like tomorrow. Bye for now. Hugs, love, and peace.